Saudi Arabia has just begun construction on the biggest and most ambitious megaproject ever. The $1 trillion megaproject involves building two 500-meter tall parallel skyscrapers, the equivalent of 2 rows of 2,000 One World Trade Centers stacked next to each other, covering a distance of 170 kilometers. Starting at the Red Sea, this monumental megaproject will stretch across deserts and finish deep in the mountainous terrain. The massive game-changing megaproject is called The Line. Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Prince Mohammed bin Salman, announced plans to construct the world's largest megaproject in January of 2022.
بصفتي رئيس مجلس إدارة نيوم نقدم لكم ذا لاين مدينة مليونية بطول 170 كيلو 0 سيارات 0 شوارع و0 انبعاثات كربونية.
With a reputation of thinking larger than life, he set out plans to build a 500-meter tall structure that would stretch a remarkable 170 kilometers. So why does Saudi Arabia want to build such an ambitious plan? And can building something like this be possible? In 2016, the kingdom announced Vision 2030, a diversification plan that would reduce the country's dependence on oil and shift the economy towards tourism, technology, and other sectors. Since then, they have already revealed a master plan called neom, which means new future. When the neom development coined its first representation of the world, it intended to become so self-sufficient that it was referred to as a country within a country, where residents will apparently be called Neomians rather than Saudis. Now, the introduction of neom would basically be the end of the oil decade, where the nation would adopt a new concept that is more futuristic and self-sustaining. The neom project currently consists of 3 massive megaprojects. The first part of the development is a floating 8-sided industrial complex called the Octagon, which would serve as a port for shipping routes through the Red Sea. At the other end of the line, the city will have a major outdoor skiing destination called Trojana in the Arabian Peninsula, where entertainment and events would take place throughout the year. However, none of these plans is as extravagant as the line that was first announced in January of 2022. And yes, although the line was revealed to the public earlier this year, it wasn't until July that we got our first glimpse at what a linear city could actually look like. So what do we know about the line? Well, the proposed futuristic mega construction would be located in the northwest of the Gulf Kingdom near the Red Sea. It's no doubt that the construction would most likely take years to complete. It would eventually be home to over 9 million people, considering the stretch of land and infrastructure that it would require. The 2 mirrored facades will be connected via walkways. Most of the interiors will be vertically built and contain public parks, offices, and homes on top of each other. Basically, the design is to stack the infrastructure of a normal city vertically on top of one another. They also plan to be 100% sustainable and feature the most modern technology. Those living inside will be fed through vertical farming, integrated right into the 500-meter high walls. And on top of that, the structure is designed to include a marina for yachts and a sports stadium built up to 305 meters above the ground. Leaked documents reportedly show proposals for everything from robot maids, an artificial moon, and flying electric cars. Some might even say it will look like something out of science fiction. But obviously, this $1 trillion project is so much more than expected. With self-sustainability at its core, the line's complete infrastructure would be powered by renewable energy sources, while its minimal physical footprint will ensure that 95% of the development's land will be preserved, as it is a far cry from the urban sprawl of modern cities. The 200-meter wide gap between the 2 skyscraping lines is where the city would be built. Here there will be a high-speed rail line that is capable of reaching speeds of up to 512 kilometers per hour. This would also be able to connect its residents from one end to another end in just about 20 minutes. This would eliminate the use of cars or roads, thus making accidents a little less frequent. Also, homes, public parks, schools, and offices would be considerably built on top of one another, just like layers. This would make accessibility very efficient, with the goal that it would only take 5 minutes to commute between your home and office, or for children, home to schools. Additionally, parks and nature reserves would also be accessible from anywhere in the city, and you would practically reach them within just a 2-minute walk. To increase the efficiency of the city, each layer would have nodes that would divide the overall land area and the city. These nodes would also be easily accessible to everyone, making commercial services easier for home delivery, transportation, and more. The line is also designed to feature a 3-layer structural architecture. The first layer, or subterranean layer, will be dedicated solely to transportation. The infrastructure will be housed in the second tier. Finally, the third tier will be for its residents. Now, these will also have designated pedestrian areas. The city plans to install an artificial intelligence monitor that will utilize data and prediction algorithms to suggest ways to improve the lives of its inhabitants. In contrast to traditional cities, the population's health and well-being will take precedence over infrastructure and transportation. Furthermore, the overall purpose of the initiative is to increase tourism earnings while decreasing the country's reliance on oil exports. The first phase of construction began in October of 2021, with drone footage showing a perfectly straight line of excavation and civil works preparing for the first layer. It is expected once construction is complete, the project's initial phase is likewise anticipated to be completed in 2030. This makes it one of the most ambitious projects in history. Though the estimated cost does say it would be $1 trillion, other sources say that such a challenging project would cost even more. Even though there might be many people against the idea, the Saudi government did mention that it would pave a path to increasing economic diversification by creating over 380,000 new employment opportunities. Additionally, with better and more employment opportunities, this would even contribute roughly about $48 billion to the country's GDP. The project is now being supported by the Saudi government, the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund, as well as local and global investors. However, if you think about it, the line does make anyone curious, and there are a lot of things that do raise the question and the possibility of building something this ambitious. Just the sheer scale brings into question its viability. So let's take the time it took to build the One World Trade Tower as an example of how long it will take to build the line. It took approximately 8 years to build One World Trade, and if the line is around 2,000 One World Trade Center towers long, it would take 16,000 years. And because there are 2 rows, it would take 32,000 years to finish construction on the line. And yes, Saudi Arabia could build it faster, as they could build sections at multiple fabrication factories and have them transported to the construction site. But it still just illustrates the sheer scale quite well, that this would be a mega construction that would last centuries, giving hint that the line will be constructed, but perhaps at a much smaller scale than originally planned. Interestingly enough, the concept of building a linear city isn't entirely new, which adds to the potential success that line will be built. Many successful cities have been designed as linear models, and Neom would join the growing list of smart cities. Jarkey Ingalls Group made headlines in 2020 when it introduced the Woven City, which would be built near Japan's Fujiyama. It imagines a fully autonomous future with driverless vehicles and AI systems. There's also Egypt's new smart city that's being built near Cairo, and Tolosa, a utopian vision for a new American city. Now, while no city design is perfect, a bold project such as the line stirs up the conversation and makes us question and rethink what a city should look like. The line is a pretty bold idea. Maybe not everything on the Saudi Kingdom's wish list will come true, like an artificial moon and flying cars, but more efficiently run cities with abundant access to nature and amenities might not be too far from where we should be aiming. The line is part of the Saudi government's Vision of 2030 rebranding campaign, which intends to make the Saudi economy more competitive with Gulf rivals like Dubai and Abu Dhabi. And only time will tell whether Saudi Arabia can make the line a success. So what do you think of the line? Will it succeed and be the most impressive city on Earth? Or will it become a $1 trillion mega project mistake? Let us know in the comments down below. Also, if you want to see more about similar ambitious mega projects, watch one of the videos right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.